What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, just welcome. My name is Gemma Jade, but today we are going to be discussing the lost continent of Lemuria. Believe it or don't, but please keep an open mind, and let's dive right in. When I first heard of the legends of Lemuria, it was something I kind of stumbled upon completely by accident, which, if I'm being honest, is exactly how I found most of the topics that I discuss here on my channel. But this one's a bit different because technically it's all theoretical, but somewhere deep down in my soul, I feel that it's real. I don't know how to explain it. I just feel a connection with it. Just as I've always believed in Atlantis too, and I'll be covering that really soon as well. As always, I'm going to give you the most accurate information I could find, as we know that most of what we discuss not only on this channel but in this community in general is not technically backed up by facts or evidence. Also, I want to let you all know for the comments, at least here on my channel, skepticism is not only welcomed but wanted, encouraged. As long as you're respecting my channel and both yourself and others, you're good in my book, so don't worry about it. I have always been and still am completely enthralled with and fascinated by stories like the ones that come from people and that I've been able to come across in my research regarding legends such as Atlantis and Lemuria. So here it is, the legends of Lemuria. The lost civilization of Lemuria is a legend that lies in the Akashic records, and there's even a little bit of scientific evidence to back it up. So let's start with the science. In the 1800s, scientists and most people really believed that Lemuria not only existed, but that that's where our long-gone ancestors went to when they passed on. Oh, and guys, wait, I may get some things wrong, and I say it like that wrong because, again, it's theoretical for the most part, so there may be pieces that I report here that are different from what you may have heard. That doesn't mean I'm wrong or you're wrong. This all comes from my psychic intuition and being an earth angel. More on that in the future as well, but I'm going to report only what I feel is true and based in reality. All right, so anyways, it was also believed that they were the ancestors of lemurs as well. This is actually where Lemuria gets its name, as they used it to explain the fact that there were lemur fossils in Madagascar, India, and Africa. It was thought that lemurs originated in Madagascar, so how did they get across the ocean to India and Africa? Because there used to be a continent between them, of course. Now, keep in mind, these theories were created before the continental drift was widely accepted, so land bridge theories were prevalent in this time period. It was also believed that this place was a hearth for humanity, a paradise continent. Back in the 1800s, they believed that humans originated in Asia and migrated to Africa, so Lemuria explained this migration. When I looked up lemur, I only got that definition of those bush baby creatures with the giant eyes, so I don't know. Many people believe this is where these theories started falling apart and that Lemuria was only a legend, allegedly just like Atlantis was. However, in 2013, scientists discovered granite under the Indian Ocean, and this granite was found in the exact spot where Lemuria would have been, according to those who are so sure that it existed. Let's talk a little bit about the spiritual side to all of this. Lemuria was said to exist before and during when Atlantis was still standing. Lemuria is oftentimes known as a paradise for those who dwell in the spiritual realm. It's said that this was also because Lemuria was located at a tropical paradise on the Indian Ocean, so geographically it was an island paradise of sorts anyway. Many psychics and researchers believe that the first starseed people came from Lemuria. Hey, Steve! Steve is our resident starseed person, as are many of you guys. And again, more on that in Earth Angels coming. It's crazy how many people who, when first learning or hearing about Lemuria, not only feel connected to it, but somehow instinctively know deep down somewhere in the depths of their very being that this place is real and did in fact exist. Many starseeds, when having past life regressions, remember living in Lemuria. All around the world, there are legends of a great flood that happened a really long time ago. From the Bible to many Sumerian artifacts that were found, it seems like this flood really is a historic event which was documented differently from different perspectives by many civilizations, both human and those in the spiritual realms. This flood is what many spiritualists theorize brought about the demise of Lemuria. Some believe that the Lemurians were shapeshifters, so when this happened, many of them just shapeshifted into whales, dolphins, or maybe even mermaids. Others could have gone underground, as it's believed that there is a Lemurian civilization under Mount Shasta in California. Some tried to integrate with the rest of the planet, and how much success they have is something I'll most likely talk about in part 2, if I can find enough information about it. And you all know me, I can never stop researching, so I feel like there's so much more to Lemuria than one video can tell. What I wanted to focus on today, though, now that we have some history down, is the Lemurian civilization believed to be under Mount Shasta. This city is believed to be a crystal city, and it's said to be named Telos. Lemuria is one of many cities said to be underneath the Great Mountain, a series of inner Earth complex cities which collectively are called Agartha. There are many theories besides the aforementioned flood, which supposedly drove the Lemurian civilization underground. Another of these is the many wars that are always taking place on the Earth's surface. These cities were created as kind of refuges for the people and safe havens for sacred records, teachings, and technologies that were cherished by ancient cultures. According to that legend, there are several entrances to the many cities of Agartha throughout the world, and Mount Shasta is one of them. There are many legends to be heard that come from the Native Americans in this particular area of California as well. Many of these legends come with a grave warning. Stay away from the mountain altogether. But why? According to Hopi legend, Mount Shasta, an extinct volcano, is the home of the lizard people, who I did discuss in a previous video. Some California Amerindian tribes consider the mountain forbidden because it was a city allegedly of invisible people. There is said to be a portal too, one that leads directly to this 15,000-year-old civilization, and it is made up of tunnels from the dead volcanoes after the land in which they previously lived was destroyed by volcanoes. Some theorize that Lemuria was established by aliens known as Lemurians, a gentle, peaceful people. Let's take a look at that. That's what I believe. Makes a lot more sense to me than we humans evolved from lemurs. Before the fallen consciousness, the Lemurians lived in a fifth dimensional frequency or dimension and were able to switch back and forth from fifth to third at will. The first souls inhabiting the planet arrived from the land of Mu in the Dal universe about 4.5 million years ago. Among those early arrivals were the Ascended Masters, who are said to be assisting humanity even up to today. Later, they were joined by races from Sirius, the Pleiades, Alpha Centauri, and other systems, and I might be pronouncing some of these wrong. Together, they formed the Lemurian civilization, which became the cradle of civilization on this planet. It was the motherland that assisted in the birth of other civilizations. Atlantis came about in comparatively recent times. The early Lemurians retained their Christ consciousness and expressed their divinity in every single area of their lives. Disease, lack, and limitation were completely unknown to them. 25,000 years ago, Lemuria and Atlantis were the two most highly developed civilizations on the planet. The original intent of the two civilizations was for Atlantis to represent the energies of the Divine Father, or the Divine Masculine, and Lemuria to represent the energies of the Divine Mother, or the Divine Feminine. They were meant not only to work together for both the benefit of the people, but also to serve as guides and role models for other evolving civilizations and for younger and less experienced souls. Dissension between the two arose regarding the development and evolution of the other civilizations, though, with the Lemurians believing that the other less evolved cultures should be left alone to continue their own evolution at their own pace according to their own understanding and pathway, whereas Atlanteans believed that less evolved cultures should be controlled by the two more evolved civilizations. Their argument over ideologies resulted in several thermonuclear wars which weakened both continental plates. When the wars were over and the dust had settled, there were no winners, only death, destruction, and further debasing of the human spirit, to the point that both sides realized the futility of such behavior. Before the sinking of the continents, Telos, which means communication with spirit, was the name for the eastern portion of Lemuria, consisting of what is now California and part of British Columbia. Today, Telos is only the name of the city the Lemurians built beneath Mount Shasta over 12,000 years ago. Having had plenty of advance warning that they would eventually lose their homeland, the leaders were prompted to come up with a plan to protect and preserve their records, sacred treasures, culture, and most importantly, to relocate to safety all the sacred unfed flames that were focused in their many temples. They decided to build an underground city that would be free from any surface disruptions or discord. The priesthood knew that Mount Shasta would be safe during the coming earth changes, so the leaders petitioned the head of the Agartha network of subterranean cities for permission to build a city beneath the mountain. The starting point for constructing their own city was a large domed cavern inside the mountain and various natural tunnels and volcanic tubes. Using their mastery of energy, crystals, sound, and vibration, they hollowed out space for the city. Construction continued for several thousand years to complete the city designed to hold 200,000 people. The original height of mankind on this planet was approximately 12 feet tall. The Hyperboreans were and still are 12 feet tall, and none of them live on the surface at this time. By the time Lemuria sank, the Lemurians were reduced to 7 feet tall and still are 7 to 8 feet tall to this day. I just want to say the Hyperboreans, those are probably the giants that everyone is seeing in, near, and around Mount Shasta because they live in Lemuria under and inside the mountain. And there has still been a further lowering of height on this planet, for most of us on the surface are 6 feet tall or less. As our civilization evolves, this will be restored. Even now, people on the surface of this planet are becoming much taller than they were only 100 years ago. Telos is a fairly large city with a population of about 1.5 million. There are several villages all sharing the local government, and Telos is divided into 5 levels of several square miles beneath Mount Shasta. The first level is where the largest percentage of the people live. They reside beneath the dome, and this is on the first level. They have their homes here. This is also where the administrative and public buildings and several temples are situated. In the center of this level stands the main temple, called the Temple of Mara, a pyramid-shaped structure. It will seat 10,000 people at a time, and this temple is dedicated to the priesthood of the Melchizedek. The pyramid is white with the capstone called the, quote, living stone, donated to them from Venus. The second level is where all of the production and manufacturing is done to meet the needs of the people. It also contains several schools for children and adults as well. Though not as many people live here as on the first level, there are still a great deal more residing here on the second level than on the levels below it. It has the second highest population of all 5 levels. The third level is completely made up of hydroponic gardens where all of their food is grown on just 7 acres of land. Their gardening methods are extremely effective, and therefore 7 acres of land is all they need to cultivate enough food for at least 1.5 million people. The hydroponic gardens never stop producing crops. They can grow food much faster using advanced hydroponic technology with very little soil and a lot of water. They also don't use any chemicals like we do on the surface. Their food is completely organic and, like the Lemurians themselves, of the highest vibration. Their form of gardening does not need fertilizers and does not deplete the soil. They do place organic minerals into the water for the plants. Crops are enhanced and quickened by the great light, energy, and love vibration of Telos itself, just from the atmosphere of this place. This is said to be the magic of their 5th dimensional consciousness that hopefully one day soon we'll all discover. The 4th level contains some hydroponic gardening, some manufacturing, and a large area for nature parks. The 5th level is totally dedicated to nature. This is where all of the animals are kept. The scenery is tall and healthy trees and beautiful clean lakes as far as the eye can see. The Lemurians have been able to preserve many of the plants and animals that have gone extinct here on the surface, or wherever you want to call here where we live. There is never any slaughtering of one species by another. It seems that predator-prey dynamic that's inherent in our wild animals doesn't exist in the Lemurian animals. Actually, every single one of their animals are vegetarians and don't eat meat, let alone each other. They live side by side in total harmony without fear and without any aggression towards people or toward each other. Telos is said to be really the place where the lion and the lamb lay side by side and sleep together at night with both eyes shut in total confidence. Okay, I know all of this sounds great and all, but what's my point? I've come across some research that says that the Lemurians are starting to reach out to a chosen few of us humans to invite us and come and visit the city of Telos. Apparently, they're choosing specific people starseeds and people with Lemurian blood in particular, to come and visit and then spread the word to others about their kind. They want us to become like them, ascended and existing on a higher vibration. The problem is there are still so many non-believers and also so much evil and pain in our world. There's a book out which allegedly chronicles a conversation a woman had with some Lemurians. I'm not sure of the whole pretense of the book, but I want to talk about it maybe in the next video because it was really interesting. Lemuria still exists in a fourth and fifth dimensional frequency, not yet visible to our third dimensional vision and perception. As the veil between the dimensions becomes increasingly thinner, Lemuria, in her new splendor and glory, will reveal herself to us in a very physical and tangible way. As we open ourselves up to a more conscious way of living and purify ourselves of all distorted and erroneous belief systems we have embraced in the last millennia, we will be able to perceive our beloved motherland once again and eventually be allowed to step in to be received by her with all the love and splendor she now has to offer. So while they want people with Lemurian blood and starseeds, they want others as well, us earth angels, or just good, decent people that are human. Many people I've met through this platform have been just starting, most at a much older age, to come to terms with their own spirituality. Many of them are empaths or psychics and never even were willing to acknowledge it. I've met so many starseeds and so many earth angels and know this is where I belong. I sense a great spiritual awakening in the decades to come, and I hope I'm still here to see it when it finally happens. Lemuria sounds more beautiful than anything our minds could ever imagine, and that's precisely why I really believe it exists. Please, guys, keep searching. Keep being true to yourself, as imperfect as you may be, and please keep an open mind. So many of the people I talk to, guide, and meet with on a regular basis were bullied out of ascending spiritually on a regular timeline, and as I said, haven't been able to gain the strength or courage to embark on their personal spiritual journeys until way later on. This is perfectly okay and all good, except imagine how much more light and love there would be on the planet now had the millions of people who were forced or coerced into dimming their lights hadn't done so. Just something to think about. And I am going to have more on Lemuria, and I'm working on Atlantis as well. I'm also trying to find out if Lemuria is the crystal city that someone allegedly saw inside Mount Shasta. There's so much information, guys. You wouldn't even believe it. And I have a lot more coming. I'm trying to do a 7 days of Halloween type thing. So bear with me. All right. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed spending this time with me, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure your notification bell is turned on. Okay. And spread the love by sharing this video. Please also do me the biggest favor and check out the description box. The 3 live streams that Steve Stockton and I do every week. Friday nights, Campfire Stories. Sunday nights, Fireside Chat. And the Wednesday night live oracle readings right here on this channel. All of the information for those will be in the description box. If you can, come and check them out. Become a STEMite. Join the Stemma and Gempire crew. I can't talk today. Also, links for PayPal and my Amazon wishlist, or the link to become a patron. If you have any experiences or encounters with the supernatural and or paranormal, feel free to email me at GemmaJadeParanormal@gmail.com, and I will put them in a future listener encounters video. Also, if you would like a free oracle reading from me, email me your first name and birth date. That's good enough for now because I'm not charting. I don't have the time right now. I do the readings for free, but I do leave links in the description box either for a financial or gift donation, but it's not mandatory. I love doing it. It helps me. Justice for Caleb Smith, always. I'm trying to get April on when she has the time. She's a very, very busy little bee doing some amazing things, actually. I'm going to get her back on for another 2-hour live stream to explain all of the updates. But I'm going to leave the original interview that Steve and I did with her in the description box as well to get yourself familiar with the case for when the next live interview comes out. Also, the GoFundMe was taken down. The billboard was actually donated. I forgot who by, but I'll try to put it in the description box. And April said that she's going to take the money that they did raise for the billboard, and when the donation time is up, like they said, say they'll donate it for 2 months. Once that 2 months is up, April is taking the GoFundMe money to keep it up even longer. So wish her luck. There's also some other really exciting news of big things that she's doing in the Caleb Smith case. You guys know that case, among many others, is very, very close to mine and Steve's heart because April has become like family to me. And Caleb's become like a surrogate son. So with all that being said, guys, be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other. It doesn't cost anything to be a good, decent, nice, kind human being person, right? Smile at a stranger, always go in grace, and I will see you guys next time. Mwah. Bye-bye.